Well, Coach, I once heard someone say they don't ask you how, they just ask you how many. Does that kind of apply to tonight, and what was the message to your team after that one, the way they found a way to pull it out?
Yeah, I mean, what credit to FIU. I mean, they came up and played well. We're up 14 points with, 6 minutes to go, and have a chance to end the game, and they fought back, to take that to overtime. So credit to them and the way they played. Told our team that the ultimate objective is to find a way to win, which we did. And we've got to learn how to finish. We've got to learn how to beat ourselves in certain situations. But I was pleased that we found a way to win. We got in overtime, and nobody on that sideline had any doubt. Like, they knew they were going to win. I think the other sideline was hoping. We were knowing. There's a big difference in that. And so my job as a head coach, where I've got to figure it out, and I'm not done it yet, is how we can start to finish some games. We played better in the first half than we have in a long time, which was good. But we didn't do the things necessary to really finish out the game the way we should have. Obviously, the fumble right there out of the gate in the third quarter, and then we take the lead. And so there's some things that we know we got to improve. I was worried about the time off. Would we be rusty? Would be timing and some of those things. But we overcame it. But listen, we'll take it right now.
Quentin Cooley tonight, I mean, was there any hesitation or doubt in your mind that he was going to be getting the ball as much as he did there late in the game?
No, I mean, especially we messed up. We messed up there. After they scored and made it 24-17, we go 3 and out. We messed up. We didn't give him the ball, and so that's just not wise. We didn't give him the football. He had been running well, and so we made our decision in overtime. We're going to ride or die with him. And so obviously we went down and scored. K-Salt, pulled the ball there for the one play, but we were going to ride and die in overtime because we didn't finish the game. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down giving the ball to our most productive player on offense. And so we made that decision. We're giving him the ball, and we're going to try to run it down their throats there in overtime, and it happened. And so we didn't do a good job to try to finish that game, and so we're not going to let that happen again. So, but he had to run more than probably we thought because Billy got hurt a little bit. James Joyner was out. Billy and Q are those 1-2 punch, and Billy got hurt there in the fourth quarter, I believe, hurt his ankle a little bit, and so we decided to ride Quentin. It was not 29 carries were not probably in the game plan, but we needed all 29. So lost my voice there. I don't know why.
So many times you see teams just try to bend and not break and keep it in front. There, Christian Bodner, was he sent there on a blitz, or take me back to the play there where he gets the strips?
Yeah, so they had an RPO on where they were going to hand the ball off or pull it and throw it, and they did that. We brought the Christian off the edge was the play, and we took away the first quarterback's read. That was our whole goal, was to take away his first read and make him have to go to a secondary one. And typically when he does that, there's some inaccuracy and stuff. When he found his first read, he was really good, and so he had to double clutch, and that gave us enough time to get there. And then, for us to be able to get on the football there, because your natural reaction is to pick it up. I think one of our guys tried to. In that situation, we get on it, and Jolly did a fantastic job there. And it was a great call at that time frame because we had held them down the whole game till that fourth quarter there, and just gave up fourth downs and gave us some of those. I still am trying to figure out the fourth and short call. It looked like the quarterback didn't get any yards, and they got a first down on that. I got to see the replay on that one, but we've got to get off the field there. But that was a huge play for us, obviously, in the game because they're going to go for 2. I'm surprised he didn't go for 2 when he scored with a minute something left. To be honest with you, that's why I took the timeouts, because I thought he was going to go for 2. I was trying to save us as much time as possible. He didn't, but I knew he was going to in overtime, especially after that. So it was a big play for us.
50 rush attempts tonight. Was that part of the game plan going in, or is it something that you saw early on that you just wanted to continue to we weren't as accurate. We weren't as connecting in our pass game in some of the things that we did for whatever reason. Maybe that was the timing. Maybe that from the layoff a little bit. Having that game speed and being able to do that. So and the way they were playing us, they were. Not to get technical, but dropping a lot of people, trying to just see if they could bend, not break, give up explosive plays. And so we got to the point there that was the thing that we knew we could count on. Like, we knew if we handed it off, we felt like we could find a way to move the ball. And we just weren't as sharp as we needed to be in some of the other stuff, so that's why we did that.
Jamar Brown had 3 tackles for a loss. You guys stuffed him in the run game. It was like 34 carries for 99 yards. What did you see in Brown specifically tonight that was so special, and then obviously your run defense overall?
Yeah, I mean, you want to make them one-dimensional, and, I mean, for the most part, up to that fourth quarter, I mean, I think they had like 200-something yards total offense, you know, and we're doing a good job. Jamar was excellent. We had him hitting the gap on 2 or 3 different calls, and he basically tackled the quarterback and the running back at the same time. And if you remember, I think it was might have been UTEP or might even be East Carolina. He tackled one of them and let go of the other one, and the other one had the ball, I think. And so he was smart this time. He held on to the running back and said, hey, that's it. He was huge. That put them in some challenging situations early, and I think he actually got a big one there in the fourth quarter where we got a 4th down stop. I think that was one of the drives there. So he was tremendous. He played hard and did a good job for us there. And I thought we did a good job of getting them behind the sticks. We just could not get off the field on those last 2 drives. We had them, I think, on 2 4th downs, and then they got the big play, and they converted them. And so we've got to do a better job there. They got us on a couple of things there late. I don't know if we got tired or what, but we got to finish out.
How hurt are you for Reese Smith?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. It's the same knee, but anytime you've had an injury like that, sometimes there's, not to get medical, I do have a medical degree from Jamie, Chadwell University, that, there's scar tissue and some of that. Sometimes you just pull the scar tissue and it feels like worse than what it is. We're hoping that's what it is. That's what we're hoping. Maybe something shifted. I think we'll find out. Hopefully it's nothing. He was in there in the locker room and seemed to be feeling better, so hopefully it's not any structural damage. Hopefully it's just maybe one of those, and we've got obviously another open date here coming up, and so hopefully we'll get some guys back, because we were banged up coming this with a lot of guys, that we have been playing for us didn't play, and so hopefully in the next how many days we've got, we can get back healthy.
It didn't ultimately impact you guys, but what did you hear from the referees on the cooling block and the illegal blindside?
They said that he threw his shoulder in there and he came back towards the line of scrimmage, which is a no-no. And so, you either got to stand there or you got to really extend his hands, and he extended his hands late. But they said the key was you were coming back towards the line of scrimmage, and that's not what you're allowed to do. So we ended up scoring off of it, which was good anyway. But yeah, I mean, some of those penalties that were called some of them were a little challenging, but we overcame them.
It was 9 for 90. Are you happy with that overall?
No, well, some of them I think were questionable. So, but the ones that I'm not, we had 2 offside penalties on the defense on PAT because they're trying to block the kick. That's unacceptable. And then they called a couple. I think we had a false start when they moved up front. And then we had a couple. They called a couple holding on us, and the holding sometimes one of them was obvious. That's fine. The other one, you're like, okay. But the ones that the 3 that were lining up offsides or the false start, those are the ones you really get frustrated on. And then they waved one off on them where they said that, and so that's when you get upset at officials. But I was way better tonight than I normally was.
You talked about knowing the team knew they were going to win going into the overtime period. Where do you think that comes from, just that mindset? Is it just from the success you guys have had the last, year plus?
I mean, I think that could be part of it, that they know they've found a way to win in challenging situations. But we also, you're a product of how you practice, good or bad, right? And, the old saying is practice makes perfect. I think it's more practice makes permanent. How you practice determines how you're going to do on a game. And so our guys, we practice those situations. We put ourselves in those situations where, hey guys, and that's what we said. We've been in this situation before. We might not have been in overtime before, but we've practiced that. We've been in challenging situations where we've had to make, and so not one person over there had a look in their eye where like, oh man, what's going on? We might lose. There was never that saying, hey, we might lose, right? Hey, we might win, but it was never we might lose. And there's a big confidence in that, and I think it comes from just continuing, knowing that, hey, we've put ourselves in the situation, we believe in each other. It might not have been perfect up to this point, but we're going to do what we need to do. And we scored, 5 plays, I think, there from the 25. It looked like we were a juggernaut. Might have been, I think it was 5. And then, defense got them there on a 3rd down and a sack fumble. So, I mean, there was a renewed focus. There was never a doubt. And I think it comes from those guys, the bond that they've created, and the time they've spent sacrificing for these opportunities, And our whole thing going into this game was we got to earn a game back, because we lost one. And when you lose one like that, you don't get many. You only get 12 guaranteed, and you want to earn more. And so now we only get 11 guaranteed unless there's another hurricane coming. And so our whole thing is about earning that back, and I think that was the mindset. What do we got to do to earn this game back?
You got another long layoff coming here, knowing that the challenges that come with that, but I guess this time it was expected, right? So how do you plan for that? What do you want to see from your team here over the next couple of weeks as you get ready for the next game?
Well, a couple of things. One, we got to get healthy. And what I mean by that, we're missing, you're missing a starter on defense. You're missing some key role players offensively and defensively that play a big role. So one, I'd like to see if we can get our team back to where we can be full throttle going forward. Two, the hardest part about, again, you had an off date coming. The hardest part is because we missed that time, I think there's a rhythm and a routine you get into, especially offensively, and you're off of it again. And so how can we continue to find our rhythm and all those things? And so we've got to do a good job of practicing hard and practicing at a sense of urgency and a tempo where we're going against each other, but also pull back because we play October 23rd, today's October 8th, so it's 15 days. So we'll have a couple days off, but also you can't practice 10 days in a row either. So we got to, at a high level, we got to figure out what that balance is. I thought we had a good balance coming into this one based off of that, and of course after watching the game, maybe I'll say, hey, it's terrible. So I got to figure that out. But we got to balance being hard and tough physical practice, but also getting our guys to the race too. And so that's the challenge you face of making sure you're ready for a game, but also not beating yourself up so much that the guys that you need to play are limping into it. So there's a hard challenge there. So we'll do something tomorrow. We'll do something Thursday. We'll do something Friday, and then we'll let them have the weekend to recover. And then we got Monday until the next Wednesday. So we got about 10 days there to figure out how we want to practice and some things. And so we'll practice a good amount of time, but we'll also have a couple days there where they can take some time to get their bodies where they need to be.